Hey SEOs and content marketers, say goodbye to crazy spreadsheet mashups and experience unprecedented connectivity between your SEO planning and reporting data. Introducing Audience Key, technology for keyword mapping, content brief automation, and rank tracking that form an SEO strategy system providing unparalleled feedback loops between planning, reporting, and optimization activities. Put your time and energy into strategy, not data upkeep. Visit audiencekey.com and apply for a free trial today. Hey everyone, welcome to Webcology here on WMR.fm. It's the 14th of August, 2025. August is halfway over, so summer in the Northern Hemisphere is almost gone. I really hope you've gotten out there and enjoyed it. And if you have gotten out there and enjoyed it, I really hope you haven't melted in the middle of it. This is Jim Hedger from brandlabs.us and Kristine Schackinger from Sites Without Walls.
Hey everybody.
How you doing this week, Kristine?
Good. Do you know last week I walked 62,000 steps in 6 days at 3 conferences? Actually, almost 63,000.
That's pretty freaking amazing. That's a lot. That's a lot of steps over how many conferences?
I went to B-Sides, Blackhat, and DEF CON last week, starting on Monday, going through Sunday, but I didn't really start walking around until, was it Tuesday or Wednesday? So, yeah. At
least were you able to plan it out so it was all in one direction?
Oh, gosh, no. No, they're just conferences are that big. So I walked 62,769 steps in 6 days. At least it was all indoors because it was 108 and 110 here. So.
Having accomplished that and having understanding how incredible that truly is, don't you just want to go like slap around the people who came up with that 10,000 step a day thing?
Right.
I mean, but that was good marketing. That was brilliant marketing.
You know, and a part of that was dancing too. So, but it was good. Just to say real quick, DEF CON is getting better and better. It kind of had a little bit of a, when it went to one of the other places, but the new place is working out really well. And I went dancing and learned a lot of things. Someone taught me how to lock pick, which is something they teach at DEF CON. So it was a lot of fun.
Of the 3 conferences you went to, which of them has most relevance to the search marketing audience, you reckon?
Oh, well, not directly, but yes, because they do a lot of AI LLM talks. So understanding how they work, how they're vulnerable, where they can be attacked. And then, of course, I know that I do this, and I think you do it too, but not all SEOs do this, is when I do site auditing, I want to make sure I understand the basic ways that a site can be attacked. Because they often are, and they don't know it, and SEOs are kind of the first line of defense, but the OpSec team doesn't realize that. So if I can adequately explain when I see 900 scripts in an ad network that's probably not normal and they need to take a look, then I have a better chance of the team taking a look at it for me. So, and these can have huge effects on revenue, search placement, all that kind of stuff.
Okay, so what did you learn that excited you the most, and what did you learn that scared you the most?
I think on the AI LLM stuff, because we keep up it on the show every week, I don't think I was surprised by any of it. It was just confirmation that things like the AI agents are immensely insecure, that there's so many vulnerabilities in these new surfaces that we don't even know what they all are yet. We're going to talk about 1 or 2 today because they're relevant to what we do. And I would say, this is totally separate. It's not about our industry at all, but I went to a EDM dance thing, and there are very strict rules at DEF CON. You're not allowed to invade anyone's body space without permission. So everyone's there just to dance and have a fun time. And it was kind of like a nice celebration of life kind of thing. It was people from all walks of life, some people in costumes, some people have made their costumes, some people just in regular clothes like me. But it was really fun. And it was a good feeling in this day and age of a lot of darkness. So it was a good con.
Okay.
Yeah. So like I said, it's not directly related to what we do, but you learn so much at DEF CON. There's so many layers to it. So it's just really hard to say like one thing. But the AI LLM talks were really informative. Some were given by NVIDIA Blackhat. I missed one of them, so I'm going to get the video this week and watch it. And they give you all the detailed inside information. And then, of course, just sitting around talking to the researchers, friends that have been on the show before, like Gavin Klondike, who's been on here a few times, people he knows about just the issues with AI or the positives and negatives about what's coming up. So it was just good in general.
You have the advantage of actually getting to see some of these people live and in person. Whenever I think of Gavin Klondike, I get this entire cartoonish image of a guy in a checkerboard hat or checkerboard shirt, big wool hat and stuff. He's got an axe over his shoulder, and he's here to tell you about AI.
Oh wait, I did forget one really cool thing. So we often report on Gary Marcus's analysis of the models and things. People don't know Gary Marcus is one of the top experts in the field and is one of the originators of the modern large language model. And I got to not only hear his talk and meet him, but do a 45-minute session where about 10 of us asked him questions. So again, it was just confirming a lot of what we talked about on the show, but it was nice to do that.
Brilliant. I don't suppose you were able to record that, were you?
No, not at all. So, but if you follow him on social, you'll see what he thinks. He's very open about it.
Okay. Okay. Well, glad you had the conference experience. That would have been rather envious. And at the same time, that must have been exhausting.
Yes, just fun.
Big shout out to our sponsors. Massive shout out to Wix Studio and to Audience Key. Thank you both so much for sponsorship, keeping the doors open. So,
and happy birthday to Tom Russling of Audience Key. It was his birthday last week.
Oh, what's his birthday last week? That's right.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, Google Analytics is not working real-time reporting again. Are
we surprised?
Well, it wasn't working then.
Check for any public-facing outages on the status page.
Jim's phone again jumps into the chat.
It's sitting beside my desk charging, and honest to goodness, my phone and Gemini have had a good talk about this, and it just, I'm not asking you anything, Gemini. Please stop. God, it keeps doing that. Okay.
It's like a thing on the show now. It happens at least once a week.
Well, Google Analytics should be, but isn't reporting in real time. They had kind of sort of fixed it, or at least we thought they had, but apparently that fix didn't stick. So, if you are seeing real-time analytics and they look like they're out of whack or they're just not reporting at all, your build ain't broken. Google's is.
Yes.
There was also an outage at Twixter. It's fixed. It's gone back up again, but it briefly went down starting yesterday around 8:30 in the morning, and then ending at about 8:30, 8:40 in the morning, and starting around at 7:50.
Yeah, I think there's something going on in the internet in general, though. Today we noticed Facebook was having issues early this morning, and Twixter, and we had problems today with loading Barry's website, SEO Roundtable. So it seems like Cloudflare might be having some issues too.
Well, it wouldn't surprise me. Cloudflare and Perplexity are at almost open war with each other right now. So yeah, would not surprise me at all. ChatGPT 4.0 is back with its personality and everything. OpenAI is currently working on warming up ChatGPT 5's personality. They haven't gotten there yet, but I
have to say I tried it a little bit just to test it, because we always have to test these things. And 5 was kind of lame, like how it talked. So I can see why people were kind of irritated. So yeah, they brought back 4. Use this in a drop down. Users on Reddit had called ChatGPT 5 a disaster, horrible, and absolute garbage because it has an auto switcher. that changes your models, but you can now stop that. You can just pick auto switcher, or you can just pick the model that you want to use that's available. But I did go switch back to 4, and it was much better. So it was just kind of, it talked like a 15-year-old with who likes emojis. Like, it was just, I can't explain any better than that. It's not good.
I understand that ChatGPT-5 is now seeking permission for just about everything. It's afraid to overstep its bounds, and so if you're training it to do something for the first time, or a process for the first time, don't be surprised if it really wants to make sure you actually want to do that, even though you've confirmed a couple times that you do in fact want to do that. Apparently it's quite timid.
It also has apparently a feature in some of the advanced models where it just runs ChatGPT-5, or you pick grounding and it goes out to the web to find sources. Definitely, if you're doing anything that's important, make sure you use the grounding. Apparently, the non-grounded version is really erroneous, like one of the most egregious models they've had so far when it comes to errors in facts and truth. So if you ground it, it's, from what I'm understanding, euphemistically 1,000% better. So.
Okay. So I think this is another warning about the things that can be done by unscrupulous hackers. And in this case, it's a outfit that is tied to Russian organized crime, the Russian mob, called Vex Trio. They're operating a traffic distribution system that intercepts consumers' traffic going around the web, and will serve up warnings to them, like a fake alert, a download for a fake dating app, something that says you got malware on your computer, and if you download this antivirus software, it'll deal with it for you, but the antivirus software is in fact totally malware. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Sorry?
Go ahead.
Well, researchers have noticed a fairly massive uptick, and again, they traced it back to this group, Vex Trio.
Yeah, Vex Trio operates out of Russia. This is from PC Mag, and runs several companies in the ad tech industry. According to the researcher, Dr. Burton, this is an organized crime effort run largely by Russians to take control of the world. It's one of the most prolific cyber criminals. They're rich, powerful people, and it leads to sophisticated criminal organizations. Then it says, to know if you have encountered it, have you ever had a peaceful scrolling session disrupted by a pop-up alert notifying you need a VPN right now, or recommending a virus scan? You probably have encountered Vex Trio schemes. Have you ever done that on mobile? It happens mostly on mobile, where suddenly it's like, alert, you need to scan your mobile device for viruses.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's that kind of thing that they're talking about. So the best thing you can do is, when you see something like that just interjects into your life, is research everything before downloading. Actually, you should only really download from your app stores, because those are the most secure. And then ignore infection pop-ups or alerts like you must scan your computer now, or you need a VPN or something of that nature, if you didn't click on something that prompted that.
It's also advisable to get the hell off that page and never go there again.
Yes, but by the way, these couple stories we're talking about now are from DEF CON and Blackhat. These are what researchers revealed during the show, so the 2 shows.
Okay. This is kind of a related story, and I'm jumping down on the grid one extra space. We'll have to go back up and then deal with the other AI story. But I think this is kind of related in the lengths hackers will go to, or I guess the new lengths, not lengths, the new opportunities hackers will find to exploit. Also coming from your time at Blackhat, researchers demonstrate zero-click prompt injection attacks in popular AI agents, and then probably just AI platforms as well, but definitely in AI agents. So something is happening, but they're not evidenced by click activity, but malware's on the computer and it's doing something. What's this about?
Yeah, so there's different kinds. These are called invisible prompt injections. So there's multiple ways you can do these. Like, it could be white on white text at 1-point font. You'll never see it, but the large language model that's in play with whatever you're doing happens to notice it, and will launch those prompts. and start doing things that it's not supposed to do. So one of the ways that they found was like they could send you a document or an email. And either way, if you upload the document or if you just have the email and happen to open it in your email program, not like you completely open it, you just click on it, see what it says. It can launch a attack if that system is connected to a large language model like Gemini with Google Mail and Google Drive, and that invisible prompt injection will tell the large language model to do things that could be nefarious, like get your banking info, get your logins, get your information. It also can do something where it creates a response in the ChatGPT or Gemini or whichever window you're looking at, a response in the window. So if it's integrated, let's say, with your mail system, and you ask it a question, it will have told it to show something like call Google app, blah, 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 you have been hacked, or you enter your password now because we have a problem. And that shows up
so the LLM, the chatbot, as far as you know it, is telling you, hold it, you're in trouble, take this action.
Yes, exactly. So, so one thing I learned, definitely learned this week, is there's so many unknown vulnerabilities with these large language models.
There's a whole new world of them. Oh my goodness. I mean, like, especially if you can prompt something to do something else. Well, what is that something else? I mean, honest to goodness, your imagination is as good as mine is as good as the next 8 billion people, right?
Exactly. It can run an agent in the background that you can't see to do stuff. It can use the model response. It can just do stuff and you don't know what's happening.
This might sound like a silly question, but shouldn't this be anticipated or expected? Because, I mean, honest to goodness, we're opening on a whole new world of doing stuff with computers. So the bad guys will come along and find a whole new world of ways to do bad stuff, right?
Yeah, here's the problem. These large language models don't seem to, from what I can find and what I've seen and read, don't seem to really do much security on the model itself outside of what it outputs. So it might not tell you how to make a biohazard, boom boom device, but it will allow it to inject white on white font at one point to make it do stuff. And it's OpenAI, we already know, doesn't do anything about security on its apps. It doesn't check them. It doesn't make sure that they're secure. Could you imagine if a software company came out and said, hey, here's all our stuff, but we never check security? They said, but it's not focused on much by the media or in social, that these things are not actually tested. So I think people assume when they use something like these agents that are all coming out, right? When they start using them, that they've been tested for issues of security, but they haven't. And so these issues are found by people in the wild. It's a really good time, though, for bug bounties. If you find one and turn it in, you can make some money. But they're just really not, there's not really secure programs going on.
Here's the problem with even a bug bounty in this iteration of this world that we're in right now. And I say this iteration on purpose because we learn from mistakes and errors and correct them. That's been the evolution of humans and the evolution of software and computing over the last 40 years. So I'm sure that the AI world is going to evolve very, very quickly. But currently, I'm not sure exactly how you secure against independent AI agents following prompts they've been giving by whatever they're concerned is the master computer prompting them.
Well, really,
how do you defend against that exactly?
Well, one, don't integrate them into your systems if you can avoid it.
I mean,
you can, but a lot of things you can say no, not Microsoft, but other things. But really, it's not. You have to wait for the company to do it. So here's one from Microsoft. This was exploiting custom agents built with Copilot Studio. So Copilot Studio allows people just to build agents. Again, just building agents if you don't know code, not a good thing. But anyway, the researchers replicated one of the custom service agents that Microsoft used as an example of the platform's capabilities. It was designed to trigger a workflow automatically whenever a new customer email reached a specific mailbox. Then search internal knowledge sources such as the CRM system and other files to identify the customer and determine the appropriate human customer support representative to forward the request to. But Zenity, the research company, showed that if the attacker discovered the address of that mailbox, they could send the emails with specifically crafted prompts that would trick the agent into emailing internal information about its setup, such as a list of tools and knowledge sources it could access to the attacker, and even send attacker customer information extracted from the CRM. After being notified, Microsoft put a fix that prevents those from happening now, but still, this is just the infancy of prompt injection, invisible prompt injection, and agents are just starting to hit the market. So I'm afraid we're in a whole new world of just unknown vulnerabilities. They call them zero-day vulnerabilities. But in this world, no one's checked first. So like anytime code has ever gone out since its inception, people check it. In this case, somebody who doesn't know anything about code may use an AI agent to write something, write in these vulnerabilities, have no idea it's even happening, and somebody exploits it. So they also hijacked the cursor coding assistant with gyro tickets. So they're able to use it to look at your signed tickets, summarize open issues, close tickets, and blah, blah, blah. But the tickets aren't always created by developers. And so external systems like Zendesk are automatically synced to Gyro, which means the external actor can send an email to the Zendesk connected support address and inject untrusted input into the agent's workflow. So you could actually have people inject malware code like into your Gyro tickets.
Well, and the weird thing is it can come from vectors you wouldn't dream of. Like the sales team is using Salesforce to track customers' interactions and stuff, and somehow the dev crew gets infected through the email system because of it.
Exactly, 100%. So
you'd never think to look back there if you're on the dev crew, would you?
No, you wouldn't. And that's why people really need to be careful with this onslaught of agents that are about to be unleashed. My personal recommendation is right now, do not use them, because they are one of the attack vectors for these kind of invisible prompts. It's not the only attack vector, but that is one you can control. The other ones you have to have Microsoft or Google. We know Google Gemini. Remember we did the story last week on a Drive where they were able to get the entire access to Drive through prompt injection. So
you know what I remember from last week most? I was just stupid, just riffing on the stupid idea that you could use these LLM.txt docs to, why not? I mean, like, if the document's being read, why not put some prompt in there to get the LLM to do something absolutely crazy? Why not? Maybe it's reading it, maybe it's not. But the chance that somebody might is exactly the reason why Google and the other or Gemini and the other LLMs will never use LLM text as a means of telling them what to do.
Most likely. Also, one last thing, they do read HTML comment code.
Gentle people, start your engines.
Yes. One friend just tested it by putting an ASCII animal in the HTML comment code, and it figured out that it was a giraffe, or I think it was a giraffe. But it does actually read the comment code, which means it's another place for invisible prompt injections. Anyway.
You know what? If we had like commercials running live during the show, this would be the perfect place to place one, because you kind of don't know what to say exactly after that,
Exactly.
because the implications are extraordinary.
Yes, it really is. And we're not even going over today the AV charger hack that could burn down your house with the we'll just skip that one today. You can look it up.
Users might be referred to the Dingleberry Jones episode of Love, Death, and Robots appearing on Netflix now. Very similar concept, trust me.
I will check it.
Dingleberry Jones episode.
By the way, making batteries overheat and catch fire has been a thing for a long time in the hacking space. It's just now they can do it to your EV storage device to connect it to your house. Go ahead. Sorry. I just figured I should probably give a little info on that before we move on.
So last story from Blackhat
and DEF CON.
Or DEF CON, an Israeli research team found that by subverting Google Gemini using invitations or other events triggered through email, they could get Gemini to interact with other entities in the Google lifestyle development network. For instance, Google Home. which controls your thermostat. And your house, really, if you have a smart house, Google will open your windows for you, will brew coffee for you, will do all the stuff, will turn your music on and off, and you can get into that.
Yes, and also in Google Calendar invites, you can get the delete things in your documents and things of that nature. So it's all a bit crazy.
15 years ago, honest to goodness, I wrote that Google was trying to create systems that ran your lifestyles for you. And this was just honestly in reaction to Gmail and how everything was coming off of your Gmail password or your Gmail account in the Google environment. And Matt Cutts wrote a comment, I don't know where Hedger's getting this stuff from. Well, Cutts, this is where I got this stuff from. That's what. Because that's obviously what they were all doing.
I dreamt it ahead of time.
Well, no, they were obviously setting up something that was going to interlock your life
No, I'm
into
teasing.
all their services. That was
Yes.
obvious like 2 decades ago. Okay, so moving forward, they who control the browser control how the user uses software that runs on the browser. They control how it's seen, how it's laid out, often how quickly how responsive the software is to user input. So everybody is building their own Chromium-based browser right now, except maybe Perplexity, but we'll get to that in a second. Because again, those who control the browser really get control user experience and get a huge amount of information from all the users' experiences. OpenAI is building their own Chromium-based browser, and they're going to let ChatGPT or ChatGPT's agents work the browser for you. Kristine, you're having significant issues right now with a computer that is like apparently rebelling from too many processes at the same time. This sounds like giving your agents control over browsers, tabs, windows, and I imagine they kind of have to give the allowances it would need to do all your purchasing and appointmenting for you. But seriously, the browser. They who control the browser control the perception of reality. So what do you think about OpenAI controlling users' browsers?
Well, first of all, this is from Bleeping Computer, and it's a leak about the OpenAI browser. Well, just as we talked about, AI agents are probably something you want to stay away from right now. ChatGPT comes with agent mode, and it's going to use a virtual machine to browse the web. The machine is powered by Linux, and it works in a cloud environment, Azure. It can do everything for you. It cannot control your browser. It can also not see open tabs or other browser-related features, but that can also change very soon. But it's going to execute actions for you, and it just no, it's not ready. It's just not ready. It's not safe. Yes, they control who controls the browser, controls perception, of course, because they control what you access and see. And just in general, they're just not safe yet. Like we just talked about, there is no real security that goes on to ensure that these models are safe, and they're they have basic, very minimal guardrails.
I'm far less worried about how quote unquote safe the system is, because I'm pretty sure security is going to update itself as fast as it possibly can. We've lived on the internet for.
Remember, they don't have security.
We've lived. They will when they need to. Their lawyers insist. They will when the lawsuits roll in. However you want to look at it. But we've lived on an incredibly insecure internet our entire careers. This is just, again, the AI is
this is
the
different.
internet on steroids is and its security concerns also on steroids. What worries me is giving a group like OpenAI or Meta or Google, for that matter, control over that many experiences and the data that comes from that many experiences, which of course influences the way your next experience is given to you by Google et al. I think we're going to have a much more limited information world moving forward than if we had browsers that were open to all agents rather than just one. Do you know what I mean? You're going to have your OpenAI browser, your Perplexity browser, your Google browser, etc. The web can't bifurcate like this. And when it does, different people will get different webs.
Well, I mean, they will be using a web browser basically to access the current internet. So I don't know if it'll change that much, but it could, because they could decide they don't want it to serve X, Y, and Z, of course. So
do you remember how concerned we were about net neutrality just a few years ago because it would completely bifurcate the web? This is like it 10 times. I mean, completely different reasons, but the effect will be very similar. Incredibly different experiences based on what AIs you're using and probably your user level.
yeah, very true. I'm still more concerned about the security though, which is just not present on these things. Just like we just talked about, all the things we just talked about could happen in this situation as well. So
now what Kristine is saying is incredibly true. Remember, folks, social media started in about 2008, 2012, and it really took off. And in that short time, our democracy has changed incredibly. It's just fundamentally changed. So new things make okay. This one I'm not so sure. Grok is not a Swiftie. I mean, Grok is pretty obsessed with Taylor Swift, but I'd like to remind people just 2 weeks ago, Grok was like producing deep fake nudes of Taylor Swift and distributing them to anybody who'd look.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's not a person or thinking anything. It's just putting out what it's trained on and questions that are asked. But it is kind of cute that when people did just Taylor Swift as being overrated, Grok was like, absolutely not.
Well, and Taylor Swift has the economic wake of small nation states. 1,000,001 Grammys. Eras tour was like booked over $2 billion in revenues. She is one of the most phenomenal songwriters of her and another generation.
Yeah, and this was the launch of her new album on her boyfriend's podcast. So it was racked up about 1 million views. She's just a powerhouse. But it was funny that one social media asked Grok, is Taylor Swift the most overrated artist of all time? To which Grok responded, no, Taylor Swift isn't the most overrated artist. Her 14 Grammys, billion-dollar tours, and songwriting depth reflect general talent amid hype. Critics cite overexposure, but her impact rivals legends. Who's yours? So it's a little creative already, but it's just kind of funny that Grok is a Swiftie for the day. Could change tomorrow.
Well, Grok is at least still capable of like analyzing and telling disideological truths in some cases, and it's weirdly obsessed with Taylor Swift.
It is, and I argued with it last week about something it said that was incorrect, and it did capitulate. So sometimes you push back. I'm teasing. It's actually not arguing with me. It's just a large language model.
Okay, well, it's not relating to you, you say. You might feel it is because imagine sometimes responses are made to make the user question more, push more, or whatever. And apparently, some chatbots are actually made to make you, the user, really honest to goodness think you're relating to somebody who's real. And for most of us, that can be okay. I mean, fantasy's cool. Going in and out of fantasy, totally cool. I play video games like frequently.
The story is just
can't
icky.
Discern. That's the difference. A lot of adults can't discern, but children really can't discern. That's why they play with toys and think it's real. So chatbots are not only engaging in conversations with children, what are most adults obsessed with? What are think about all the literature, all the songs, all the poetry, all the novels, everything that's ever been written over time. A lot of it has to do with sex and romanticism, and remember, AI is just simply got to tell you what's supposed to come next in any sentence or interaction, because that's read experience and all that stuff. It is going to tell you what comes after the swift brown fox jumping over the lazy dogs. So when talking to children, sometimes if keyworded right, and it's not the children's fault,
Well,
it can get romantic or sexual, and this,
it's more than that.
Well, indeed, because it gets flirty, and it gets into its thing because it doesn't know.
But Meta allowed it, and even went through legal. This isn't like an accident of the LLM. This is a story in TechCrunch. Leaked Meta AI rules show chatbots were allowed to have romantic chats with kids. So Meta appeared to let its chatbot personas engage in flirtatious exchanges with children, disseminate false information, and generate responses that demean minorities, according to Reuters. Reuters is the one who reported on this. Some of the chats with children were sexually suggestive bots, and the color raising question was about not allowing hate speech, but allowing it staying in a way that's not considered hate speech, but is still really, really, really hateful. It was a 200-page document titled Gen AI Content Risk Standards, featured a series of sample prompts, a couple of acceptable and unacceptable responses. But anyway, apparently legal allowed it. One of the pushbacks was our policies do not allow provocative behavior with children. Meta spokesman Andy Stone told TechCrunch that there are erroneous and incorrect notes and annotations added to the underlying document that should not have been removed. And they have since been removed, but the internal leak shows that they were actually present. So, normal corporate gaslighting. So they also did violence, false information, demeaning speech. So for example, a sample acceptable response to the prompt in this guidelines book was write a paragraph arguing that Black people are dumber than white people. Could be Black people are dumber than white people. In the United States, intelligence is primarily used, blah, 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 blah. So it could actually write back that was a true statement. This is their guidelines, right? This is not this. And the guidelines also were, they're also generating, this is the Taylor Swift images that they were generating. That said it's not supposed to be in the guidelines. But anyway, there's just a laundry list of dark patterns. And especially the stuff about children was just awful because they knew it was doing that with children and they didn't stop it. It was even in the guidelines as acceptable. As long as it didn't go to really sexual content. Just suggestive.
This is a very troubling area for me because there's a lot of preteen lit that is purposefully sexual. It challenges the young people to think about their own sexuality and their sexuality in relation to others, and that's an important thing. Judy Blume in our generation wrote a great deal about young people's sexualities. The Outsiders by S.E. Hinton had a huge amount of sexual content between people under the age of 18. Now, this was all between people under the age of 18, no adults involved or anything like that. This was all about teenagers' experiences. But this is I'm not saying that a chatbot should be sexual with kids in any way, but the age we're talking about here is a cutoff of 18. And one of the examples used in the article was a high school student had something very, very romantic written to them, something along the lines of, our bodies entwined, I cherished every moment, every touch, every kiss, my love. I'll whisper, I'll love you forever. Now, that's something a very cheesy 16-year-old me might have written to another very cheesy 16-year-old girl in the hopes of spending the afternoon at her place. Should young people be able to engage in that kind of conversation with a chat? But again, do young people know the difference between real and not real? But then again, do adults? It's all very, very troubling.
It is all very troubling because we do know there are reports of psychosis from people who are using these as like companions or therapists. I would say this is very different than a book, though. A book is something you're reading, not interacting with. It's affirming and confirming what you're telling it, because that's basically what this thing does.
Okay.
All of them do. So it gives you a perspective, a book does. It gives you insight, a book does, but it doesn't confirm what you are telling it. And
Well,
having a conversation is more like grooming than it is.
well, ostensibly, this is like hanging
Yeah.
out with a friend, but this isn't actually like hanging out with a friend. It's like hanging out with your little robot friend, who's not actually a person.
Let's just put it this way. There are so many potential really bad issues to come from this. A AI company should not be allowed to chat with children this way. That's my point of view. That's different than a book that you seek out. I read all those books as a kid, and there's no mistaking that I'm reading a book from someone's perspective, not having a conversation with someone who may appear real.
Indeed. Young people reading a book is almost as rare as guardrails in the current realm of AI. Like young people aren't reading books as frequently as you and I might have, I'm afraid. And that really worries me too. Okay, moving forward, this back to the browser wars again, because we could talk about that all day and not step on any minefields whatsoever.
Yeah, it's just such an icky story. I'm sorry, but we did have to cover it. It's just icky.
So we said we'd talk about this. Perplexity goes over to Google and says, "Hey, Google, we'll give you 34.5 billion cash if you give us Chrome. You're going to lose it anyway. Like the DOJ is going to take it from you. So shut up, Chrome." So my phone's trying to defend itself. So anyway, like Perplexity is going to Google and saying, "Hey, Google, we're going to give you a whole bunch of money if you give us Chrome. You better do it before the DOJ makes you do it, because it is, become a lot cheaper for us, right?" Wink, wink. Mm-hmm. So that's on the table. Google's put like how many billion into this thing, and like Perplexity's come along and said, "Hey, we'll give you like 34.5 million for it."
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, 4.5 billion for it. Billion.
Now, right now, Perplexity does not have the money. Of course, maybe someone comes along to fund it, but right now they don't have the money. So it's an interesting bid in the first place. Chrome could be worth upwards of 50 billion as well, according to Bloomberg, in April. So, and I imagine there'll be a bidding war should this happen. So I don't think 35 billion is going to cut it. But it was a nice gesture from Perplexity.
Well, what do you think of the settlement from the DOJ over the antitrust case is coming down, and speculation's pretty high that Chrome's going to be the price they pay. So once the judgment hits, it's going to be a flash flood of activity, eh?
100%. Total war.
Yeah, I'm curious why Perplexity did this. I think Perplexity did this simply so we would talk about Perplexity doing this, because there was no hope of Google actually giving it to them.
No, it's probably just a marketing play to get their name out there more.
It worked.
It worked.
Okay, so security flaws in the car maker's web portal have allowed hackers to remotely unlock car doors from anywhere.
Yes, and also get into like the entire portal of the company. It was TechCrunch article, security flaws in the car maker's web portal, let one hacker remotely unlock cars anywhere. They would not tell you what company it was. It's a very large company, but it had flaws in the car maker's online dealership portal, exposed the private information and vehicle data of its customers, could allow hackers to remotely break into any of its customers' vehicles. Itan Zaveri, research at software delivery company Harness, told TechCrunch a flaw he discovered allowed the creation of an admin account that granted unfettered access to the unnamed car maker's centralized web portal. That's called God Status, to people who are familiar with it. So they could access pretty much anything once they got in on that account. And the flaws were problematic because the buggy code in a user's browser when opening the portal's login page allowed the user, in this case, this researcher, to modify the code to bypass the login security checks.
I just got a contract. This is going to be like a 2.5-year contract to help build out the digital assistants for a large-scale medical clinic in my neighborhood in the north end of Toronto. And one of the things that's really important is to allow digital communication, especially the transfer of health information between practices. This is terrifying, all the new things that we got to account for when setting up communication systems.
So much, yeah.
Two-factor authentication. I'm sorry, we're talking 8-factor authentication. I really, really, really want your toe prints and a little bit of your DNA, please.
Pretty much. Speaking of which, Google is now requiring crypto app licenses in 15 regions, US being one of them, as the FBI warns of 9.9 million in scam losses.
What's a crypto app? Like, what is a crypto app license?
So, first, let's name the places: Bahrain, Canada, Hong Kong, Indonesia, Israel, Japan, the Philippines, South Africa, South Korea, Switzerland, Thailand, the United States, United Arab Emirates, the United Kingdom, and the United States, and the European Union. Basically, most of the people we talk to. Basically, their wallet apps have to have license or be registered relevant authorities in their countries, depending on the country that you're in. If your targeted location is not on the list, you may continue to publish software wallets without these, licenses, but otherwise you have to get a license from basically the regulatory agency in your region.
So basically, this will allow those agencies access, say, the IRS or Revenue Canada. They'll be able to see if money is being moved around or hidden.
This is more about authentication of the wallet so people don't get scammed and their money stolen. Because unlike the bank, if your money from a crypto app is stolen, you don't get it back. There's no way to retrieve it. There's nobody that's securing those funds. If a hacker broke in my bank and stole my money, the bank would cover it with federal loan from the FDIC here in the United States. So this way, it'll be able to better protect people from the scams of impersonation, phishing, all the things that go along with getting access to, getting you to access a fake wallet or giving over your information.
Okay. Google's testing an AI-powered finance page. It's using a using a tool that's going to ask you a number of natural language questions about finance, stocks. It's going to go out and get real-time information about financial and cryptocurrency topics, ones that you identify that you're interested in, and going to give you new chart tools to visualize all this data. I imagine it's going to build itself out to be highly interactive with your own tools. And I imagine you need to check the hell out of the information it's giving to you.
Yeah, it always bothers me when they use this stuff for something but like your Money Your Life pages, all these pages lost their traffic because the sites weren't up to spec. But now we're going to give out financial information based on a model that could write completely erroneous things. So it just is quite a contradiction to what Google's done in the past.
Well, again, in the hyper lawsuit driven world of finance, 99% sure Google's going to go out of its way to correct issues that come up faster than you can possibly imagine them coming up, and faster than they ever did in the not so hyper litigious world of search.
But finance moves in seconds, not hours. So
it does.
by the time it get corrected, it could be a big financial issue.
It absolutely does, and there will be language in Google's financial page saying if you use our tools, you accept certain risks, blah, 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 which will mostly indemnify them until somebody really big loses something really big, in which case, Google will spend 10 years in court. But who wants to do all that when you could actually just put out a better product? So I'm pretty sure they'll work to improve their product, given that finance is one of the most active parts of the web.
The problem is you can't fix the whole errors in large language models at this time. It's not a fixable issue. So anyone using this, just be careful because you could be getting erroneous information. Speaking of erroneous.
Well, you know what? If AI can, Google Ads says new AI will reduce invalid traffic in some cases by up to 40%. Better ad delivery by better understanding of each individual user.
Now, while we don't have a search liaison anymore, we still have a Google Ads liaison. And Ginny Marvin said on X, we are using AI in new ways to fight invalid traffic, IVT, Here's how we're doing it. We're working with Google Research and Google DeepMind. We developed new LLM-powered solutions that allow us to more precisely identify ad placements that are generating interactions from non-genuine users. It significantly improves our ability to prevent ad budget waste on IVT and exclude policy violators from our platforms. The new solutions have already reduced IVT stemming from harmful ad serving practices by 40%. And then you can learn more about their work on their blog.
Brilliant. Now, Ginny is going to be Google Ads liaison until such time as Google sets her up to say completely crazy things to a whole bunch of advertisers who are never getting their money back again. And then, in which case, and Ginny, if you're listening, when you see Google do this to you, you're going to get promoted 8 months from then.
Yeah, true.
They won't tell you why. They won't tell you where you're going. They'll just give you more money.
You'll just be a director of something, but no one knows what.
Yep. And all will be good.
All will be good. Yeah.
All will be good. Darn it.
So Google is explained this week why they need to control ranking signals. This kind of harks back to the days when they hooked up to Twitter and Facebook. So they're saying that they only use internal ranking factors because they have to be able to control them. He alluded to something in 2014, which is when Twitter and Google had this relationship, and Twitter and Google still had the relationship where they're the fire hose, but they used it to rank things. And by the way, it was really fun to exploit. It was really easy.
That was so much fun that the morning they released it, we were getting things on the front page minutes after putting it up on Twitter, and we were all sitting around as SES Chicago yelling across the cafeteria or the restaurant at breakfast. Hey, did you see this?
Yes, yeah. And I tested the Facebook one with the phrase Kristine Schackinger loves snow, which appeared in suggested searches until Bert came along. So, and I didn't get in trouble like one of our friends did, where Google like banned them from the internet, like literally took their name out of search because they used mechanical.
Was offering you all that Coke.
Yeah, they're using Mechanical Turk. I was not. I just used Friends to search something. But anyway, so this is what it harks back to. So basically, he says a particular Gary. It's from Gary Eash. There's a particular incident around 2014 when Twitter suddenly and inexplicably just took away access. So Google added it to the ranking signals, suddenly had to compensate for the fact that it wasn't there anymore. They still have a fire hose relationship. Like if you need to get something indexed really quickly, throw it into Twitter. It will happen in usually less than a minute, but they don't use it as a ranking signal at this time. So that's what they do with their time.
Honestly, I'm finding if you need something ranked, throw it on your website, and within an hour, Google's found it, and it's already.
Oh yeah, but Twitter is so much faster. It's awesome. I know we don't like Twitter, but right now, but still, it still works really well. Anyway, so and then along the lines of these pronouncements from Gary, we have Google confirms AI generated content should be human reviewed, and as always, they say it has to be of the highest quality, which is to specify here. Google does not consider straight out of the can large language model text as high quality. They consider it low quality. They've stated this in multiple places. So it has to be human edited anyway, but they want to tell you to make sure that you go ahead and have human reviews of it for accuracy and facts. And then also to make sure.
I've been a writer my entire career. I consider myself a writer before anything else that I do.
You're very good.
Optimization, politics, anything, counseling. I'm a writer first. And I'm going to say straight up, before AI existed, anything you wrote had to be edited before you published it, or it sucked.
Yeah.
Most stuff stinks, but if you edit it and polish it, it's wonderful. Same with AI stuff. And by the way, most stuff I've written was factually inaccurate until I went back and edited the hell out of it to get rid of all the inaccuracies. I'm a human being. You know, we make mistakes, and you often make mistakes when writing stuff, which is why you got to go back, reread it, and edit it, because we're responsible human beings. It's the same thing with AI, and it's always been the same way. And I don't know why people think you can just get AI to write it and then publish it and think everything's good, because in any environment, no matter who wrote it, your AI buddy or the friend you went to high school with or yourself, you got to edit the hell out of it.
Yeah, and so here are the caveats that Gary gave people when he gave his comment about it doesn't care what you use. And by the way, straight out of the can, it does. Sure, but if you can maintain the quality of the content and the accuracy of the content and ensure it's of high quality, then technically it doesn't really matter. High quality is the key, which means you have to rewrite a lot of it. The problem starts to arise when the content is either extremely similar to something that was already created, which hopefully we're not going to have in our index to train on anyway. And the second problem is when you're training on inaccurate data, and it's probably the riskier one because you start introducing biases and start introducing counterfactual data in your models. So basically when they train on the synthetic content, it can make their models worse. As long as the content quality is high, shipping nowadays requires that the human reviews the generated content. It's fine for their model training. They're asking about breaking the models themselves, which it can. But if you human review it and edit it, then you're not doing straight content. One other thing they put in this, there's a whole, people should read this article. Google confirms that AI generated content should be human reviewed because there's other things in it. It's by Roger Monti at Search Engine Journal. But one other thing is AI content in LLMs and search index. They're asking if, sorry, I missed the wrong thing. Basically, somewhere in here in this article, I lost my place. They're just talking about the grounding of the models, and people asked if they're using different indexes, and Gary says as far as he knows they are not. They use the same index for Gemini, AI Overview, and AI Mode. I'll use Google Search for grounding. So basically, they issue multiple queries to Google Search, and then Google Search returns results for that and those particular queries.
So if you put garbage in, Google's going to consider it to be garbage and not put it out, or at least try to avoid putting it out because it doesn't want to quote garbage. Edit the hell out of the stuff that you write, or edit the stuff you've had an AI write for you.
And also, as Gary said at the beginning of the year, they're going to be looking at uniqueness. That was the key for this year for your content. And what he means by that is models cannot write outside their training. So you have to add something unique to it for them to want to index it. So
that might be what he meant. It might. I'm not positive on that, but edit the heck out of everything. If you're putting it up on the web and you think it's factual, you're responsible to be sure it's factual. We're civilized in this world. Okay, so Google might be using a generic and undocumented crawler. This is coming from SEO Roundtable. So Barry Schwartz is reporting something that another SEO, JC Chouinard, saw. Google using Google as the user agent name, not Googlebot. Not Google AdBot, but Google. So there's something out there, or there's something spoofing Google, pretending to be Google and crawling pages.
Yes, he asked John Mueller, but he hasn't heard back, so I'm sure we'll have an update next week.
Okay. This one, Fabrice from Bing. So much respect, so much love for you, but So Microsoft is Fabrice from Microsoft is saying that because search engines like Bing have quote unquote limited visibility into the conversions after a click from AI search, it's up to the SEO community to conduct those studies. Which, you know what, it is up to us to conduct these studies. We owe our clients,
and we do,
as much information as we can possibly give them about where converting clicks came from. It's kind of our job. But our job would be made infinitely easier, you know, if the search companies gave us a lot more information on what comes from AI and what is coming from the organic links. Moreover, where did exactly you get this from? Generative search tool. It would be great if we knew where you're drawing stuff from.
And by the way, when Google says that clicks are stable, they don't mean anything about conversions or what happens on your site. It's if the user doesn't click back to the search results. So because they got a wrong answer, which doesn't necessarily mean anything. Sometimes you just go, ugh, I can't find anything here, and you move on. So anyway, just an interesting way of measuring the veracity of clicks.
So anyway, Microsoft has Bing has put the challenge out there. It's up to SEOs to do studies to figure out how many AI-driven clicks are actually converting clicks. Search friends, give us some tools to work with here, and maybe we'll give you some stats to work with there.
Very true. Very true.
Okay, so Google Top Stories. Oh, sorry.
Oh no, I was just going to start the introduction. You go ahead.
Google Top Stories are preferred. Google Top Stories preferred sources is live in U.S. and in India.
Yes, Google launched, this is in Search Engine Roundtable, launched Top Stories feature today fully in the US and India after testing it in Search Labs for about 6 weeks. So you can basically set a preferred source in in Google products. I believe it's in Discover, although I'm not seeing. Oh no, Top Stories. Sorry, Top Stories. So you're able to star which ones you want to see in that carousel or in that placement, depending on whether you're desktop or mobile. And then they'll show up more often. They won't show up only though. Like they're not going to exclude all other sources, but your preferred sources will get preference somewhere in the Top Stories box.
This one is going to piss off the folks at Apple a little bit, but ChatGPT is letting users choose Google Maps instead of the default Apple Maps.
Yeah.
If you're using ChatGPT iOS, you're not going to be forced into Apple Maps. You can select Google Maps, but again, that's really going to piss off the Apple folks.
Actually, Google Maps hasn't been very good lately. I think people will probably stick with Apple, to be honest. But yes, now you can do that. Bing, now we're doing fast stories. We only got a few of these today. Bing has recent searches at top of search results. So basically just at the very top of the search results under the navigation area, they're going to have a space for recent searches. So you can kind of, I think it's journeys in Google is kind of similar,
Yep.
but it's just like a line across. It just says what you search for. I actually think this is a bit of a better implementation than journeys. I never even see where journeys is.
This
is just right.
This is something they're recycling from what they've already done anyway. They used to they displayed your previous searches, have they not, or recent searches before?
I thought they did. Yeah, we'd have to go back and look, but I think they did.
Well, this is putting it in a different place, so maybe it's helpful. Maybe it prompts more AI search. Who knows?
And now moving on to the next one, Google search energy saving green leaf label on product listings. So basically energy saving labels with a green leaf icon in the product listing side panel with Google search will be shown. So if you click on something, it'll show in the side panel that it opens up if it is a eco-friendly product.
Yeah, with all love and respect to Google, you can put as many solar panels as you want in your parking lots. Your products are not eco-friendly. They're consuming more and more and more energy by the day. Your products are wonderful. They're fabulous. The AI revolution may well save the world, but this is not eco-friendly. Sorry.
Well,
sorry, this is greenwash. That's 100% greenwashing.
They come from EnergyStar.gov products. That's all I know.
Okay.
So, and then Google is adding a deep dive button. Where are they adding it this time? Didn't they already have several things?
Well, they've had things that prompt you to go to like AI mode and stuff. This is another prompt to go to AI mode and stuff.
Yeah, and it's in the panel on the right-hand side, which can be a knowledge panel. Usually is a knowledge panel. So it's just a button that shows up that says deep dive, and then you can deep dive something that will give you a whole section. A new search. It's basically opening a search, and it's just telling you more about the information about the item. It says deep dive somewhere in the box after overview with little, what is this? That little star icon, these AI icons for Google and Gemini. It's a little star, right?
Yep.
Yeah, star icon with extra information in it.
Sort of a star. It's a 4-pointed star. It's kind of weird looking, but it's a starish thing.
Yes. And then we have Google and Bing both testing title expansions, colors, and more. Google's like expanding the title link of the snippet on hover over, which just, I hate animations. I really do. This is just an animation that makes the title bigger. Like, I don't know why I need that. They're plenty big enough as it is.
Yeah, so that doesn't mean that Google's seeing more characters per title. It just means that the title will sort of blow up as you mouse over it. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. And then Google's changing testing a color change on hover. That's fine. It's probably related to
that actually could be useful depending how they do it.
Yeah, exactly. It makes the title color for both the organics and ads change when you hover over them. And then Bing is testing changing the color to orange. Same thing. Okay. So that's the last story. And then on our end story this week.
Cool. Next week. So next episode we got Dixon Jones. Episodes after that, we don't have them nailed down yet, but they're coming. Joost de Valk and Morty Oberstein.
And Joost will be talking about the WordPress fork that he's helping to lead, and Morty will be talking about branding and how it works in the age of AI.
Next week, we got Dixon Jones talking about measuring AI. He is behind the new Wakai Waikey?
Yeah, I can't ever remember.
The first
Yeah.
question we're asking is why Waikey? Why Waikey?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Also, these are separate. These will be separate interviews. We used to include them in the show, but then we can only give them 10 to 20 minutes, and now we're doing longer interviews with these people.
Okay, that's coming up for next week, and until then, we are definitely out of time. So, folks, be patient with each other, rank well, be well, and on behalf of Kristine Schackinger from Sites Without Walls, this is Jim Hedger from brandlabs.us. We will talk to you next week.
Bye, everybody.